I have these two medals, which means I'm a distinguished Toastmaster. If you've never been in Toastmasters or you don't understand what distinguished means, it means it's the highest level that I can achieve in Toastmasters. And I've done it twice. That also means that I've done over 100 speeches. I've either brought clubs into existence or coached clubs that were about to go out of existence twice. I've done community projects twice. And I have been in high levels of leadership twice. Because Toastmasters is a communication and leadership club, you would think that I would be the out there person. I'd be the person that wanted to chat with you, communicate with you, find out what you're all about, help you out, and see what I can do for you. But the person that I communicate with best is me. I think my 7-year-old granddaughter summed it up best when we were walking home from an Easter celebration, and she said, "Grandma, I just wanted to open my eggs and go home. I hate the public." And I said, "I agree with you, sister. I can relate to you exactly." And that's because I am a horrible introvert. My happy place is when I can crochet something and binge watch Star Trek. Why would I want to be with you? All you do is make me feel uncomfortable and suck the energy out of me. But we live in a social world. Humans are social animals. We have a social structure, and in order to survive, we have to fit into that structure. So we introverts have to be out there to fit into that structure. I came up with 3 tips that I call the Introvert's Guide to the Galaxy to help us introverts. The first one is you have to learn how to act. I found this out when my husband was still alive. He was the out there guy, the total opposite of me. He was the extrovert. He was the performer. He loved to be in front of people. He loved the attention. He loved the applause. He just loved it. And when he did his performances, he would always give praise to his dad and make people laugh about his dad. But his dad was very abusive. He hated his dad. I asked him one time, "Honey, why do you do that? Why do you give praise to your dad when you hated him so much?" He said, "It's all an act, babe. It's just an act." So you know what? I figured out I could act too. I could go out in a social place and I could shake your hand, I could talk to you, I could find out things about you, and then I could go back to my happy place because I could act. Because of Toastmasters, I learned how to be a better actor. Sometimes I actually enjoy being with you. The second one is you need to learn to know when and how to confront people. Most of us introverts don't like to confront people because we feel uncomfortable doing it. I am a grief share facilitator. If you don't know what grief share is, it's a faith-based program for people who have just lost loved ones. Most of the time, they come into grief share broken, hurting as bad as they've ever hurt, and in a really horrible place. I try to make the meetings as quiet and as inviting as possible so people feel comfortable talking. Because when they feel comfortable, that's when they get healing, when they can talk. Now you have to understand our church to understand what happened. We have a very small church. There's only about 3 places where you can actually meet. One is in the sanctuary. I don't meet there because it has a very complicated sound system and I have to play DVDs. The other is in the kitchen. I don't like meeting there because it's very small. If you get more than 3 or 4 people in it, it becomes uncomfortable and crowded. The other is in the foyer. Perfect size, great TV, great sound, but that's where you come into the church. That's where you have to go to get to all these other rooms. People are going in and out. But usually when we meet from 3 to 5 on Thursday, there's not very many people going in and out. Well, this particular week, they were going to have a wedding on Saturday in the sanctuary. Guess when they decided to decorate for this wedding? You guessed it, 3 to 5 on Thursday. So they were coming in and out of the church. They were going into sanctuary. They opened the doors, and I go, "What are you doing here? This is grief share time." And they said, "Oh, we didn't know." They were making noise. They were bringing stuff in and out of the sanctuary to put it in the other room. All kinds of things. And I'm like, how didn't they know? It's not like it wasn't on the big screen TV every single Sunday morning in front of the whole church for people to know when it was. It wasn't like it wasn't on the hard copy of the calendar that everybody gets every month. And it wasn't like it was brand new. We'd been doing it for over a year. So I figured I had to confront somebody. The pastor was there. Thought, well, I'll confront her about this because we need to get this solved. So I said, "Sandy, just breathe." Okay, breathe again. Her name is Cheetah. I said, "Cheetah, do you think there's something we can do to keep this from happening again? Because it's very distracting." She said, "Oh, I thought you met on 2 o'clock. I thought you met at 1 o'clock." I said, not even the pastor's paying attention? But she apologized to us. She said this is a very important ministry that she wants to continue. And we coordinated so that the next time there was somebody that needed to decorate for a Saturday happening, it didn't happen from 3 to 5 on Thursday. I do not know if I did not have the chance to confront her if I ever would have done it. And the third thing is that you need to remember everybody is as screwed up as we are. I think we introverts think we're more screwed up than other people because let's face it, we live in a world made for extroverts. One Saturday I was at a Toastmasters district conference and C. McLaughlin was there. If you don't know who C. McLaughlin is, he's been around broadcasting in the Phoenix area for many years. He started in the 1990s as the weekend newsman. Then he became a weatherman. Then he was the anchor for Channel 12 News for a while. He even went to New York. He was the backup weatherman for Al Roker. He did the news with Katie Couric and Matt Lauer. Then he went on to do some Olympics newscasting. He interviewed some of the best Olympians. He was even a torch runner for the 2002 Olympics that was in Salt Lake City. He had this big crystal torch thing that he showed us to prove that what he did. He did his speech and then he had a few minutes to talk to people before he had to leave. I wasn't going to go down and talk to him because, remember, I don't have confidence. I'm an introvert. But I decided I've known this man, or I've not known him, but I've been following his career for a long time. Back in the 90s when my kids were still at home, and they used to hate him because he would burst in on their Saturday morning cartoon watching with the news. But I'm going to go talk to him. I got in line, got up to him, I shook his hand. He talked for a few seconds. Then he put his hand on my back so that we could take the picture. And he was shaking. He was shaking really bad. And I came to this epiphany, this God moment, this aha moment, whatever you want to call it, that if this man who had been in front of a camera that he knew 14 million people were behind, and he was more afraid to meet me than I was to meet him, he had some issues too. So all those things that my parents told me that were lies when I was a kid, like my dad used to say, "I'll never be anything because my lips are too big." Or my mom used to say, "No, we can't go over to their house because their house is nicer than ours. They'll think they're better than us and they won't want to talk to us." And believe me, when I was a kid, our house wasn't that nice. So there were a lot of people that were better than we were. But I no longer believe that. I believe I can do anything because everybody is as screwed up as I am. If you are an introvert, please remember the Introvert's Guide to the Galaxy. Number 1, become an actor. Number 2, You have to know when and how to confront people. And number 3, remember, everybody is as screwed up as you are. So then you can go out in society, be very successful, and then go back to your happy place.